Where would our stop loss be? You don't put it at the low. You could put it slightly below just in case it happens again. Now, once the stock starts going in your favor, you need to start locking in some profits. Welcome everyone to a new educational video where I'm going to explain to you how I trade one of my most profitable strategies. Actually, for the last few weeks, I'd say this was the strategy that I traded the most due to market conditions. We are either sitting closer to the highs or the lows of the channel, or we are starting to break and trend. And this strategy is traded the most during these phases. I will demonstrate how I executed this trade, recapping my trade on AMD. The reason I picked AMD on that particular day is the daily chart. You could see that we're sitting clearly at a strong level of support. Finally, this level of support was broken, but rather than selling off after the break of that level of support, AMD recovered, forming a fake breakout. After fake breakout, I know that stock squeeze and bullish moves could easily happen. So I put AMD on my watch list to the long side. Now it's time to find levels to play this strategy or levels where I could get the best possible entry closer to them. On the 60-minute chart, you can see that there was a clear level. This level was broken, which was that fake breakout on the daily chart. And after the recovery, I was looking for an entry. Now that I know that AMD is going to be long based on the daily chart, and I know where I want to play it from, based on the level that I found on the 60-minute chart, I'm looking at smaller time frames to execute the trade and get the entry. Let's go to trading terminal, replay feature, and I'll show you how exactly I traded AMD and where exactly my entry was. There it is, AMD is opening, and by the way, that level on the 60-minute chart was also a level on the 5-minute chart from the previous day. You can see that we're sitting approximately at a level of resistance, right? Resistance here and support in the pre-market, and it was also held somewhere back then. So this is exactly where I want to play AMD from. And when I see that AMD is actually holding closer to the level of support, I could start getting my entry. Now this is what I call an early entry. If you enter somewhere around here, you need to be careful, especially when the entry is on the first minute. Your stop loss to be maybe at the low of the pre-market, maybe give it a few extra cents. This is an immature entry. And as you saw on the screenshot that I shared in the beginning, especially during the first entry, you want to see what exactly is happening and how the candle is forming. And I see that the first minute is still selling off. There is literally no rush jumping into the entry. Now that is the signal where you actually want to enter. You see that the first minute was a red candle, second minute is opening, and it's going to red. This is a bearish sign. And normally what I usually do is I wait for the candle to go from red to green, and that kind of looks like a fake breakout. The candle is opening, the candle is breaking down, and after the breakout it starts recovering. This is exactly where you want your entry to be at. Where exactly do you put your stop loss after the fake breakout? You don't put it exactly at the low. You want to give it maybe one or half of the ATR of the candle below, just in case something like this happens. And if it happens that it fake breaks again and it gets bought back up, forming this second week, now we have a double hammer or a double fake breakout, and that's actually a good signal or a good indicator for us to add into the position. Where would our stop loss be? You don't put it at the low. You could put it slightly below just in case it happens again. Now, once the stock starts going in your favor, you need to start locking in some profits. You could see that this is here. This here is a level of resistance. It's the pre-market high. That's exactly where you want to start locking in some profits. You could obviously leave some of your position for a higher move. This is exactly how I played AMD. These were my two entries. This is what I call an immature entry. It's not a bad one, but obviously if you enter around here, you could get wicked out for a loss somewhere down here. But remember, getting stopped out doesn't mean that the trade has failed. You could always re-enter if the trade is still valid. For this style of trading, we need clear daily patterns or clear daily levels or clear daily charts, either sitting around the channels, the lows or the highs, either trending. On AMD's case, we were at the low of the channel. Once you find the bias based on the daily chart, you need to go to a smaller time frame. In my case, it's the 60-minute chart, and you need to look for zones or levels or areas of interest. And the last thing you want to do is pay attention to smaller time frames, which is the 1-minute chart, to get that good entry with the good stop loss. Your partials and exits should be around obvious levels or the average true range. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, share and subscribe to our channel, and I'll talk to you in the next video.